Welcome to the All About English podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Grace. This is the place to grow your English skills, no matter what level.
Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode. We post daily. You don't want to miss out.
So, James, I've been thinking, what does living your best life really mean? I feel like it's this phrase we throw around, but what does it actually look like day to day?
That's a great question. Living your best life is kind of a personal thing, right? At its core, I think it's about creating a life that's fulfilling, one where you're happy and feel like you're thriving, not just surviving.
Exactly. And it's not like there's a one-size-fits-all answer. For me, honestly, it starts with my mornings. I used to just roll out of bed, like half asleep, rush through my day, and honestly, I felt so scattered all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine that being pretty chaotic. So what changed?
Oh, meditation. Morning meditation and prayer. It's a game changer. I started just doing 5 minutes, sitting quietly, breathing, like nothing fancy. But wow, it made such a difference. I felt more focused, less anxious. It's like my whole day flows better.
That's awesome. And it's such a good example of it doesn't have to be something huge, right? Sometimes it's that one small habit or mindset shift that sets the tone for everything else. Fulfillment can start with something as simple as a calm morning, being mindful, and thanking God.
Totally. I mean, when your mornings feel good, it's like it bleeds, into everything else. Your mood, your energy. And I think being intentional with how you start your day is one piece of living your best life.
Right, and I think happiness itself, and this might sound a little philosophical, isn't just about feeling good all the time. It's more about being aligned with what matters to you, whether that's your routine, your goals, or your relationships.
Yes, and that's why it's so important to figure out what those things are for you personally. Like what makes you, light up inside. It's such a fun question to explore.
It really is. And I think just having that curiosity to ask yourself these questions is already a step toward living your best life. It's about being mindful of what works and what doesn't as you navigate each day.
Exactly. And honestly, sometimes it's also about being willing to admit when things aren't working. Like if stress or negativity is getting in the way.
Absolutely. Admitting when things aren't working is such an important piece of it. I went through that myself back in college. I was so caught up in trying to perfectly balance classes, internships, and my social life that I ended up burning out completely. It was a hard realization, but it taught me a lot about recognizing my limits.
Ugh, that's so relatable. I mean, how did you even pull yourself out of that?
Honestly, I had no choice but to make some changes. I started small with self-care stuff. Like, I made it a point to prioritize sleep first. Because, let's be real, I was running on 4 hours a night. And then, I added in little routines that helped me decompress, like taking walks after classes or journaling for 5 minutes before bed.
Wait, just 5 minutes?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big-time commitment. That's kind of the trick. Start small. Just doing those little things consistently gave me more clarity. And with that clarity came the energy to tackle the bigger stuff, like managing my priorities better.
I love that. And I feel like so many people think they have to overhaul their whole life when really, tiny changes can be just as effective.
Exactly. Plus, negativity's another huge blocker. For me, I had to learn to step back and notice what was actually adding value to my life. Like, I stopped spending time around people who were always complaining or being toxic. It made such a difference.
Oh, absolutely. That kind of environment just drags you down. I mean, it's amazing what happens when you start surrounding yourself with more positive influences, even if it's just like listening to inspiring podcasts or following uplifting accounts online.
Exactly. And when you shift your focus to the things that make you feel good, or at least peaceful, it creates this momentum. Then, everything from your energy to your productivity starts to align more with how you want to feel.
Yeah, it's like you're kind of building this foundation, right? And once it's solid, handling everyday stresses or challenges gets a lot easier.
Totally. And that's where being intentional with your habits really comes into play. It's not just about tackling problems, it's about setting yourself up for something better every single day.
James, what you said about being intentional with habits really stuck with me. So I challenged myself recently to live my best life for an entire week. Like, no excuses. And let me tell you, it was enlightening.
Wait, really? What did you do?
Okay, so I started with getting super intentional about my mornings. Remember how I told you about meditation and prayer? Well, I added stretching right after. Just like 10 minutes, nothing crazy, but it woke me up in the best way. Like, I felt kind of unstoppable before I even touched my phone.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. It's funny how just tweaking one part of your routine can start to change the rhythm of your whole day.
Exactly. And then I focused on my evenings too. I made it a rule, no screens an hour before bed. Instead, I started reading or journaling, which was, honestly, so calming. Oh, and I made my bedtime consistent. Same time every night, no matter what.
And how did that work out?
Honestly, life-changing. My energy levels went way up, and I wasn't dragging myself through the day anymore. Plus, I noticed I was way more productive, like during my peak hours. But here's the funny thing. I also realized I was overloading my schedule without even realizing it.
That's such an important insight. Sometimes the problem isn't even about motivation. It's about how we're using our time. What did you do differently?
I started saying no more often. Like, I'm such a people pleaser. But during that week, I decided to only commit to things that really mattered to me. It felt so freeing. I swear my stress level dropped almost overnight.
That's huge. And it sounds like you were creating space for the things that really fulfill you. That's exactly what a balanced routine is about. Designing your day to actually match your values and priorities.
Right. And honestly, what surprised me the most was how fast it all clicked. Like, by the end of the week, I wasn't just surviving my days, I was enjoying them. Who knew that small habits and mindset shifts could change so much? So, after everything I tried during that week, let's talk about the biggest takeaways. Honestly, I think the most important one is it's all about being intentional, you know? Like how you use your time, your energy, and what you actually focus on. It changes everything.
Absolutely. And I think the idea of starting small really stands out too. You don't have to flip your entire life upside down to see changes. Even just one or two small habits done consistently can create momentum.
For sure. And it's not just about the habits themselves, but how they make you feel. Like finding those little things that give you clarity or, I don't know, make your life feel more aligned somehow.
Right. And I think part of that alignment comes from really understanding what's most important to you. Whether it's getting enough sleep, spending time with people who lift you up, or carving out quiet time for yourself, it all starts with knowing what brings you joy.
Yes. And can we talk about mornings for a second? I feel like I've said this a million times, but seriously, they're so key. Starting your day with a clear mindset can really set everything else into motion.
Totally. But let's not forget about the evenings. I mean, winding down right is just as crucial. Giving your brain that chance to relax and recharge? Game changer.
Exactly. And I think another thing we've both realized is the importance of saying no, like not overloading yourself, not spreading yourself too thin. It's such a big part of actually enjoying your day-to-day life.
Yes, and that ties directly into reducing stress. When you're not constantly chasing after 100 different things, you're way more present and able to focus on what truly matters.
And honestly, that presence, that's what creates fulfillment, isn't it? It's not about perfection or checking boxes. It's about actually living in the moment and appreciating what you do have.
Couldn't agree more. And I think all of this just reinforces one simple idea. Living your best life is about experimenting, reflecting, and making choices that feel right for you. It's a constant process, not some final destination.
Exactly. So, listeners, if there's one thing we hope you take away from all of this, it's that living your best life is totally doable. You've just got to start where you are, with what you have. So building off that idea of presence and fulfillment, here's our challenge for you. We want to know, what does living your best life actually mean to you? Think about your day-to-day. What habits, routines, or changes could help you feel more aligned and intentional?
Exactly, and don't overthink it. Just one or two small steps can make a big difference. Maybe it's as simple as taking 5 minutes for yourself in the morning or saying no to one extra commitment. We'd love to hear what inspires you.
Yes, definitely. Drop us a comment or share your thoughts. Whether it's one thing you're doing now that works or something new you're ready to try. Seriously, we read every single response, and it's so cool to see how everyone's journey looks different.
And if today's episode gave you a spark of inspiration, share it with a friend or someone who might need a little boost. The more we can all reflect on what matters, the better, right?
Oh, and don't miss out on some of our other episodes. If you liked what we talked about today, you'll probably love our episode on building positive habits or even the one on time management. It's packed with ideas for simplifying your daily life.
Totally. And with that, I think we'll leave you with this. Living your best life is a journey. Not about getting it all perfect, but about making intentional choices every step of the way.
Thanks so much for spending your time with us today. Go live your best life, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Take care, everyone. See you next time.